A lot of the history of crime has been targeted at Hispanic, Black people, because that's kind of what we think of when we think of criminal. The face of most people in jail matches that idea of who we think of as a criminal, and that's not a coincidence. My name is Amanda Lawson. I'm the director of the Dollar Bail Brigade. We are a criminal justice organization at NYU. We work to bail people out to preserve the presumption of innocence. I sat in on arraignments for a few hours. I got to sit where families sit, watching their loved ones go through this process where, in a sense, their life is decided. It's very high stakes. I sat in for, I think, 2 hours, and it was all men of color. It's just really disappointing to see that this is how people's lives are treated. Mass volume of how many people are processed through the system. They have to go quickly, and there's not a lot of time for humanity. In the short term, Dollar Bail Brigade, as the name says, we're just working on dollar bail. Dollar bail is a separate system. It's not even true bail in the sense that you can get your dollar back after your court date. It's just a way to track people through the system. Just because the tracking system isn't comprehensive enough, oftentimes people will just not realize that they have a dollar bail, just a lack of communication between the attorney, the public defender, and the person. It's a problem that we're fighting, just one that if you just look into it a little bit, you can see that there's something wrong there and that there's an easy solution. Just a simple 2-column Excel sheet is what I always think would solve this problem. It's just a person's name and their court date. But instead, how they keep track of court dates is through money owed. We've had several people we've bailed out who, if we hadn't intervened, they would still be in jail today for just a single dollar. Our volunteers to date have bailed out 15 people in New York City who would be in jail longer if it weren't for us, who very likely could lose their jobs if they hadn't already. Ultimately, what we're doing here is working to implement criminal justice reform in a tangible way. So now I have a lot of data that I can use if we ever work up to filing a suit against the Department of Corrections or taking any steps there. Criminal justice is something that's followed me throughout my life. I see how my life has been affected and how the communities that I care about have been broken by the system. The first time I thought of it as slavery never really went away and this is how we're now putting away Black and brown people, my frame just really shifted. This is one of the pressing issues of our time. So the stories that we're gathering are really important. If you can see just that small peek into the room of a jail, you can imagine how terrible it must be to be behind bars. It's a personal issue, but also one that I think even if you don't have a personal connection to it, once you hear about it, once you meet someone who's been formerly incarcerated, and once you hear their stories, you'll really be moved by it.